Hello my friends, William Poloniak here again at Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm going to make some apple juice from Granny Smith apples, but I'm going to add 4 grams of turmeric and 30 grams of ginger. The first thing I'm going to do is quarter my apples so they're easier to fit into the feed tube. Let me show you. Well, the first step is going to be to quarter the apples so they fit in the feed tube. And I have 6 apples here, a small batch of apple juice. Of course, I've cleaned the apples. You should always clean your produce before you make juice. And now to make some juice. Now the first thing I'm going to do is assemble the juicer with my near zero blowback cutter. I have over 80 teeth cut into these 5 blades, and I'm using the front-loading feed tube. And the benefit for the front-loading feed tube is it doesn't blow back produce up to your ceiling. It shoots up and it bounces back and forth off this angle. If it does blow back, it'll come out 1 or 2 inches. So the first thing I'll do is assemble the cutter. Put the feed tube back on, and because I'm using such a small batch of apples, only 6 apples, I'm not going to use any ice cubes. So I'll put a small collection jar under the feed tube and begin feeding in apples. It's a good idea with fruit to go down only halfway because fruit is very, very liquid. And there is a tendency for liquid fruit like grapes or apples to spit out a little bit. But if you keep this covered with the pusher or your hand, you'll eliminate that possibility. So next I'm going to put in my turmeric and my ginger. I want to point out one thing that I love about this front-loading feed tube. I can see what's going on in here. Now you notice I'm shredding stem, seeds and all. And yes, I know there's arsenic in the seeds, but you need a truckload, literally, for that to do any harm. Now here's one of the benefits to the front-loading feed tube. There's always a little bit of produce not shred in the feed tube, whether it's up and down or front-loading. So I'm going to pour some pulp in here, and I'm going to force that last produce through. And next we're going to fold this into cloths. Now because I have ginger and turmeric in this and not in this, I'm going to mix both together. Now here's one of the advantages of wearing gloves. I can mix it with my hand. Of course, if you don't like to use your hand, you can always mix it with a spatula. I think mixing it by hand works better. Now we'll set this aside, then we'll begin folding pulp into cloths. Now I always clean my juicer and reassemble before I make my juice. I have a spray nozzle here in the sink, so I'm going to spray that down. Then reassemble, and then I'll continue making my apple juice with the turmeric and the ginger. And your cutter goes on top with the hole down so that air can circulate and it dries out properly. Next thing I'm doing is taking the cloths out of the freezer. You always keep your cloths in the freezer because germs can't grow in the freezer. And of course you always press the water out before they go in the freezer. Now what I'm going to do with the apple juice, as you do with all fruit juice, is I'm going to line the juicing cloths with a bamboo liner. This will prevent the pulp from sticking to the cloth. Now I'll put 3 huge scoops of pulp into each cloth. And I'm going to press 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. That way you get better pressure. And then later I'm going to show you how we can get 10% more juice using the Whole Health Foundation Premium Juicer, and that's because of the solid bottom plate. And we'll use another bamboo liner for the second cloth full of pulp. And it looks like we have enough for 2 cloths full. So I'm going to put all of this pulp in here. And once again, fold the bamboo liner over the apple pulp. Fold the cloth over the bamboo liner. And fold it in thirds just like they came in the package. Now into the tray, centered left to right, centered front to back, and because we have a puddle of juice in the collection folding container, I'm going to pour that into the collection bowl. And then this goes all the way back and back it off. Now it's very important, especially with fruit, to back it off a little bit, because fruit is very, very slippery. So is greens only juice. But when you determine you have traction here, you advance that all the way. Now as long as I have a steady flow, I'm going to leave it flowing. And then when I get droplets, I'll back it off and we'll repackage to show you how we get more from the Whole Health Foundation Premium Juicer. Now, since I have such a small batch of juice, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take both bamboos, and notice how the bamboo liner prevents pulp from sticking to your cloth. So we'll take this spent pulp, we'll pour it into a tight ball, as tight a package as we can, and I'm going to fold it again, and this time I'm going to fold under several times in each direction. I want to minimize any slippage, and we'll do that in both directions. And we'll put that in the juice tray. Centered left to right, centered front to back, that's very important. I'm going to use a measuring beaker to show how much more juice we get using the Whole Health Foundation Premium Model Juicer. So we'll back that off a little bit, turn it on. Here I have about 2.5 ounces, so that's about 10% more juice. And incidentally, your most valuable nutrients are in this last 10% of your pressing. You might call them micronutrients. Now to prevent this from dripping on my countertop, I'm going to set this back, but not a little bit, a lot. You want it to be obvious. So I'll pour this into here and then pour it into some bottles. Now it looks like from 6 apples, a little bit of turmeric and ginger, we got 2 bottles of juice, full strength. So what I'm going to do now is do a taste test. Well, my friends, here we have full strength apple juice with a little bit of turmeric and a little bit of ginger. That's delicious. Little heavy on the ginger and turmeric for 6 apples. I think next time I'll put about half of that. Also, for me, full strength apple juice is a little too rich. So what I'm going to do is mix these 2 bottles 50% with water. Well, my friends, as you can see, I have 4 bottles, 50% water and 50% juice. And as I said, for me, full strength apple juice is much too sweet. So here it is, mixed 50% with water. Let me give it a taste. Oh, that's much better. You might want to dilute it less, maybe 30% water. It's up to you when you make your juice. Well, I hope you like what you've seen, my friends, and if you do, please tell a friend. If you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. Here we have apple juice with Granny Smith apples, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of ginger. I hope you like what you see. See you in the next video.